All right, we are live on YouTube, Twitter, and even Nostr, guys. So welcome all to the Geyser Grants round 5 of the Geyser Grants, um, uh, where we focus on education and Bitcoin communities all around the world. This is I think it's our 6th call with Bitcoin communities. I think by now we've spoken to uh, a lot of different creators doing projects around the world focused on Bitcoin education. So fantastic to have all you guys here. I will be super brief and just quickly describing Geyser, crowdfunding platform helping creators around the world turn their ideas into reality through creating a project that other Bitcoiners can support. And we have Geyser Grants that's helping these creators bootstrap with micro grants. So super excited to be here. It wouldn't be possible without Andrew Begin and Blink, who are helping to finance the grant, the Geyser grant. So thank you, Andrew. Would you like to say a few words?
Just thrilled to be here. Blink is a Bitcoin wallet built for bottom-up adoption, and so it's just great to be in communication. I see Paria, whose team actually translated the wallet, and so we had somebody who translated the to Japanese yesterday, the day before, and so it's just awesome to be in this company, and so thank you all. Yeah, if you haven't tried it, get.blink.sv is a new link that'll just auto redirect you to the App Store. Cheers. Look at that. I can't hear you anymore. Is it just me?
No, it wasn't just me. It was me. I was on mute. But that's right. Get.blink.sv, right?
Get.blink. Nice. Thank you.
Get.blink. Gotcha. I just learned about this feature, so might as well use it.
That's pretty cool.
All right. So thank you all. So basically, we're good to go. Pirai is here. You're there ready with your screen ready. So it's your chance to shine. Tell us a bit about what you're cooking up in with RightShift in Thailand. The floor is yours. Feel free to screen share if you want.
Right. I just shared my screen.
Perfect. Great.
So, hi. Wait, sorry. It went to the wrong screen. Let me just... I'm working with too many screens here, but okay. Yeah, there we go. So, hi. I'm Piriya Sambandaraksa from Thailand, and I'm the co-founder of RightShift, which is a new company that we have just found last year. Now, the story is I've been teaching Bitcoin in Thailand since I think it was 2014, 2015. That was when the first or the second altcoin bull run was just around and people were getting scammed left and right. So I got asked a lot of questions, and that kind of turned into a weekly YouTube show that has been going on ever since. So after about a decade of doing that by myself, I've created this community, a large community. My old channel has over 150,000 subscribers. And we have started a new company called RightShift that will be focused on giving the best education in Bitcoin in Thai for the Thai people to grow our community even further, right? So over the past year, we have done quite a lot of things. We have created a website which hosted a whole bunch of articles. We actually asked people in the community to submit their own articles, and we have got a lot of response. We've had a lot of participation. We have a team of dedicated editors working full time to edit all of these articles and put it on our website. We want articles with the best qualities. Recently, we've been enamored with things like Nostr and Freedom Tech, so we've been expanding into that also. There's also the YouTube show. Other than my weekly Bitcoin talk, which I just talk about Bitcoin, we started doing other shows too. We start interviewing Bitcoiners here in Thailand, or people who are related to the Thai Bitcoin community or even Bitcoin developers from abroad. And we start doing these tech demos and teaching people how to actually use their wallets, how to set up their Lightning wallet, how to start zapping on Nostr, stuff like that. Easy stuff. Shorter videos. My videos were usually like 2 or 3 hours long, so we are trying out new forms of edutainment stuff. So that's what we've been doing on the media side. We have started new shows, like we've been trying to foster and build new generations of orange pillars here in Thailand. So the guys at Rightshift, Kun Jak, that just left, Kun Kritanai is also part of the team that's working on all of the contents on the website. Maybe they are not used to being in front of camera yet. So we have a new show called the Orange Bill Council, where we just talk about Bitcoin and new stuff. We have actually just finished recording our latest episode, just 5 minutes before joining this room. I have worked on translation projects. These were the projects I did before founding Brightshift. But after starting the company, we have taken on more projects. We'll be translating more books into Thai, so Thai people can get access to quality Bitcoin knowledge, and not just Bitcoin. We also do other Austrian economic stuff too. We hold events. Well, we did quite a lot in a year. We hold event, the Bitcoin Thailand conference. I think Mick was there. It was our first Bitcoin only event here in Thailand. We had quite a large turnout, over 700 or 800 people on the event day, and the tickets were all sold out. That was quite successful. We that was our first time doing an event, so even though the ticket is sold out, we kind of like didn't really make any money. But here's the picture from the event. We have Stefan Libera there. We have people from all over Asia talking about Bitcoin adoption, and it was a great first time experience. We are doing another event next year, so we also work on building the Bitcoin community here in Thailand. We work in partnership with other Bitcoin communities, like the BOB people and the latest Lightning people here in Thailand. So where do we go from here? From here, we want to do more meetups, more frequent meetups. We want to push more articles and work on more collaborations with other communities. We are actually talking to the Bitcoin communities down in Phuket, which is like the southern part of Thailand, and some in Chiang Mai. We also do like official proper education stuff in school. I get asked to go teach Bitcoin courses in universities or in secondary school, and that was kind of fun. And starting from this year, I will be sending the Rightshift team to do these jobs. In the future, as I said before, we'll be doing more events. We'll be translating more books. These are the books that are more about halfway done. We are almost finished with the fiat standard. We are working on economics in one lessons, when money dies. We have just started working on the principle of economics and hidden repression, how the IMF and World Bank sell exploitation as development by Alex Gladstein. We kind of did that one accidentally, because he published it as an article, and we didn't know it would be a book, so we translated that article. Now we've got a book, right? So that is the things that we've been doing. Well, the problem is we don't really make money doing any of these things. So that's why we're here. I want to support the guys. It used to be just me, and I have other jobs. So I was doing fine supporting myself. But now that we have taken on more people under our wings, it would be kind of a good moral boost for them. So that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Love your work and that you've done. Great, tremendous conference. Love your brand, by the way. Lovely colors and aesthetic. You guys have been putting a lot of work into this. No question on my end, but Andrew, feel free to, if you have any, go ahead.
Yeah.
Just before we get to that, Mick, the geese logo is on top of your camera. Just thought you should know. Yeah.
That's right. You got a label on your face, Mick. But yeah, that's very cool. It's great to connect with you. Again, as I said, it was great. Your team translated Blink to Thai, so making content accessible is awesome. I was just wondering, and also I love the connection to Noster and kind of the freedom tech stuff. So yeah, when's the conference next year going to be? Do you know yet?
Um, we initially planned it around July, but since Nashville will be in July, we might have to move that a bit. We're still working on that.
Cool. Nice job. Thank you.
Mhm.
Good stuff. Cool. I'll just go straight on the right from what I see with Piria. So, Bitcoin Innovation Hub. Would you like to share with us your work so far? And yeah, just do please keep it around 10 minutes. And if you can, yeah, just tell us about what you've been working on, what you've learned so far in your journey in educating the world, and also what are your plans going forward. I don't know if you can hear me, but if not, we can move over to Megaslay, and we'll get back to you, Bitcoin Innovation Hub.
Okay, good day, guys. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right, cool. Okay, so let me present my screen. Okay, give me a minute. All right. I hope I'm presenting the right screen. Please let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, I think it's loading.
Okay.
It's taking a little bit to load.
I'll just stop sharing and try again.
Sounds good.
Okay, I'm trying this again.
I
Okay. Let me know when you can see.
Yeah, it's still loading. Yep, I can see it now.
Got it.
Oh, thank God. All right, so good day, guys. My name is Megasly, and I'm one of the team members at African Bitcoiners, and I'll be the one making the presentation today. So I'm actually very excited to make this presentation, and I want to say on behalf of my whole team, I want to say a very big thank you to Geisa and also to Blink for giving us this opportunity. I mean, we've been working on this since last year, and this is actually the first time we have the opportunity to present it to people for people to actually see what we've been doing so far, and it's really, really exciting for us. So I'll just go straight to it. So I wouldn't waste much time. All right. So we all know that money is central to everybody's ability to achieve their full potential, and also Bitcoin is the world's only free and fair money. And we at African Bitcoiners, we believe that if we in Africa can adopt Bitcoin first, then we have our one and only chance to unlock our potential, right, and change the inequality that we are currently seeing in Africa and in the world at large. So that is why we built a Bitcoin community, and the sole aim was to help onboard new Bitcoin users and guide them safely on their Bitcoin journey, particularly so from earning to spending to saving and also to self custody, right? So we basically just pay our bills by building our Bitcoin resources, our Bitcoin services, which add value to the community members that we are building. And the most notable of them is the Bitcoin course, beginners course that we actually have. And our first two community services are Africa Free Routing and sats to data. So what is our vision? It's actually very simple: freedom in Africa. So we want to see an Africa where every person has an equal opportunity to reach their full potentials. We have these 5 core values. We have, the first is accountability, the second one is growth mindset, the third is kindness, the fourth is truth seeking, and then the fifth is privacy. All right, and then we have this crazy goal, right? It's, we call it crazy, and I like to also add scary. So it's a crazy and scary goal actually, and it is to see 1 billion Africans each holding their keys to at least 1 million sats. It may sound scary, but we do not believe it's impossible. It's something we believe we can actually achieve. So how exactly did we start? So we started with a group of 5 passionate African Bitcoiners in July 2022. So we've only just been around for like a year, and we started African Bitcoiners with zero funding. And the only thing we had at hand was the passion to change Africa through Bitcoin education. That was the one thing that the 5 of us that came together to build African Bitcoiners, had in common. So we had that passion to change Africa. So we had to build everything from scratch. But we are now one of the leading Bitcoin education and advocacy organizations in Africa. So our proof of work: the number one product we have actually is our Bitcoin for Beginners course. So it's basically just a simple course that goes over email, right? And there we teach new Bitcoiners and newbies about Bitcoin. We take them from the beginner level to a little bit advanced level. We make them understand Bitcoin. And we don't just stop in teaching. We also gift them their first Bitcoin also. So we teach, and then we also give them their first Bitcoin worth 5,000 sats, right, as a pledge to support them in saving 1 million sats for their future. Okay. Then we also have this 1 million sats challenge that is currently going on, right? So it's it is a million sats challenge, and it is an initiative particularly we've established to educate Africans about Bitcoin saving strategies, right? So the goal is actually to help them secure at least 1 million sats each. So positioning them for potential prosperity when Bitcoin ultimately emerges the global currency, which is inevitable. We all know that this is going to happen one day or the other. So we are trying to prepare them, encourage them to save in Bitcoin. And presently, we have over 200 individuals, right, that are actively participating in the Million Sats Challenge at the moment. So, but we said, as I said earlier, our goal is bigger. We're looking at 1 billion Africans each holding their keys. So we also offer educational resources on our website. If you go to bitcoiners.africa, we have a lot of educational resources there, and particularly we take complex Bitcoin terms and break them down into guides for Africans, right? An example is the Bitcoiners map there, where we partnered with BTC Map to display merchants across the continent that accept Bitcoin and Lightning. And then we also have a lot of other resources where new Bitcoiners can go to learn, like how to keep Bitcoin in your head, then how to set up your Bitcoin cold storage for free. We also have a lot of other guides how to know the right wallet to choose, and how to set up Nostra, and a lot of other ones. So beyond Bitcoin education, also we are also building for the future, right? So aside from all the works we are doing in Bitcoin education, we also know that adoption, right, is another part of this coin. While education is on the other hand, we also have adoption on this other hand, right? So adoption is on the other hand in this fight of Bitcoin adoption. Okay, so we've built impactful use cases for Africa in Bitcoin, and one of them is Africa free routing, which is actually very, very close to my heart because this is the one I am particularly handling. So Africa free routing is basically just a network of free routing lightning nodes in Africa that allows African businesses to route Bitcoin payments for free. Currently, we have 4 lightning nodes on the network. The first one is Africa Free Routing, which is on Voltage. Then we have 3 other ones. One is in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. The other one is in Accra, Ghana. Then we recently just launched another one, which is in Nairobi, Kenya, and they are all free routing nodes connecting Africans. And then we also have another product here, Sats to Data. And Sats to Data is basically a platform where Africans can buy airtime and data using Bitcoin in less than 60 seconds. So the impact we've had so far, our 1 million sats challenge that is currently going on, we have over 200 participants currently going on, and they are all going to trying to save 1 million sats for their future. And we've seen a lot of engagement in this particular challenge on our Twitter. A lot of people have been posting and then encouraging other people to join. And then also our Bitcoin for Beginners course, also we have over 1,000 signups at the moment. And like we said, we've graduated over 350 already, and we've given them sats as they graduate as well. And also, we've given out in total over 2 million satoshis to all these graduates that are graduating from our courses. And we've seen a lot of people talk about us. Somebody like Skill Heaven Africa, they wrote a trade about us, and particularly the trade was about the infographics we have on our website. The infographics is basically just a pictorial representation of all the companies, Bitcoin related companies, educators, non-profits, and everything particularly that has to do with Bitcoin in the continent at the moment, just putting them all together in one picture. And then we also have a weekly newsletter that goes out to Africans talking about Bitcoin, bringing them the latest news in the space, and also bringing out some new learnings to them, recommending resources for them to learn. And we have over 1,000 Africans that have signed up to receive this newsletter weekly. Now, on our platforms, like I said, we've only just been around for a year. But then on Twitter, we've gotten over 3,000 followers, and on Nostra, we have over 400 followers. These numbers might not mean much to some people, but to us, it means a whole lot, because it actually means that a lot of people out there are seeing what they're doing and they want to see more, right? So that's why they're engaging, and then they're following us so they can receive more of the things we've been doing. And then these are just some of the reviews we've gotten from our students that have taken our courses. This is just the few of the many good reviews we've gotten from the students so far. And then we are humbled also that we were able to be ranked number 2 on the H17M Bitcoin Education Initiative in Africa. And also we were ranked number 4 in Take Cabal Stain Community, and keeping the Bitcoin spirit alive, right? So our team is actually made up of 7 passionate individuals from various regions of Africa. So we are not just people that are staying in one country, right? And each of us are bringing unique backgrounds and experiences. And this diversity actually enriches our ability to create contents and solutions that truly resonates with our community. So we have Sarah White, our operations manager, we have our webmaster, we have myself, and then Satoshi, our designer, we have Afriquila, our leader, and the genius in the team. We also have Kohala, the keeper of the post, and they're working with us part-time. And then we have Malkrites, who recently just joined us as our community manager. So what are some of the limitations we've had? The number one is lack of funding. So this is actually one of the problems we've had. As I mentioned earlier, we started African Bitcoiners with zero fundings at all. So we've been struggling with this, and that is how it's been going. And then the second limitation is lack of technical resources. Believe me, we have a lots of Bitcoin use cases we've envisioned to build for Africa. But then the team is small. So we are limited by the number of the team members, and not just the number of the team members, we are also limited by the skills we have. So we have limited skills. So our team is constantly learning because of this. And most of us wear multiple hats in the team just to keep us in operation. All right. So how are we then funded, right? So we depend on donations and sponsorships. And also, we also depend on the profits we generate from Africa Free Routing and Sats to Data, which really isn't much as we are still growing these two services at the moment. And so where we are headed, where are we headed, and what does our future roadmap looks like.
Thanks so much. And yeah,
Currently,
you could please start wrapping that up with this one. That'll be great. Awesome. Thanks.
okay, so in the next 2 years, these are the things we hope to achieve. I'm almost done. Yeah, we train 1 million Africans, expand the Million Stats Challenge, and then also build 10 nodes in Africa, launch 2 new impactful Bitcoin use cases in Africa, and grow our team to 25. And then in the next 5 years, these are the things we hope to achieve. We have a lot of them as listed here. And then that's it. So today we invite you to join our movement of growth and impact and support African Bitcoiners. And together we reshape the financial landscape of Africa. Thank you very much. Okay, and I'm ready for questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Megazlay. My main question is you mentioned educating Africans in Bitcoin, and you mentioned courses in the next 5 years. Is that something you're also doing right now? Or is that just a long-term
Yes.
plan?
No, sorry, what's the question?
The Bitcoin courses, you mentioned Bitcoin courses. I was wondering
Yeah,
what type of courses, what do they look like, and how many people have you taught in your courses so far?
Yeah, so it's actually one course. It's a beginner course at the moment that runs over email, right? It's a 21-day course, and it's majorly tailored for beginners, people that have not actually known about Bitcoin before. So that's what the course is all about. So we've taught over at the moment we've gotten over 1,000 signups, and then out of the 1,000, we've had 350 of them graduated from the course and gotten their certificates, and also we gifted them sats also after graduating, so they can also get a feel of it and then try to use the sats and see how they work for themselves.
That's impressive that you kind of create the course kind of schedule and content yourself, because that's a lot of work, and there are also existing resources out there that you could leverage, like Mi Primer Bitcoin, for example, or there's some others as well that may not be aware of. Which kind of how did you kind of create the material for the courses?
Yeah, so the materials actually we got them. It was curated from different resources altogether. And what we're particularly aiming at was we were looking at an average African or an average African person that hasn't actually come across Bitcoin before. So we started the course from the very basics, teaching them about money, the concept of money, because we know before you can actually understand Bitcoin, then you have to understand money. So Sarah White, our team member, she was the one that actually wrote the course, and she did the whole work by herself. So if you'd like to check it out, you can check it on our website. Then definitely you're going to like it. We've gotten a lot of positive response from a lot of people that have taken the course, and also we had to get feedbacks from a lot of people before we got the course out.
Amazing. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely love to check it out. Cool. Good work, Sarah White. And thank you, Megazlay. Andrew, any other questions?
All good. Nice job. Love to connect with you. Been following along for a while, so it's nice to see what you guys are doing in presentation format. Cheers.
Thank you.
Awesome. Cool. So we've got let's go back to Asia. Let's go to Jeremy Chiang from Renaissance College. The floor is yours.
All right. Thanks, guys. Hi, everybody. Just going to share a screen. Give me a second. Okay, maybe just someone give me a thumbs up when the slides are up there.
Good to go.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, cool. Hi, everybody. So yeah, I want to introduce my project today, which is Bitcoin education at Renaissance College. So what is Renaissance College? So we are an international school here in Hong Kong. So we work with students ages 5 to 18. We are an IB school, which stands for International Baccalaureate. which means our curriculum is really focused on developing students who are creative, curious, and really dedicated to creating a better future for the world. So who am I? So my name is Jeremy, and I'm a physical and health education teacher. So I work with high school students. I teach sports and fitness. I teach different types of health concepts like nutrition plans and sleep, healthy relationships. And the other part of my job is I'm the CAS coordinator, which stands for creativity, activity, and service. So essentially what that means is I am responsible for the extracurricular programs at our school. So say, for example, a student comes to me and says, hey, Mr. Chiang, I have this idea of a project. I want to create wristbands. And I want to do it and to raise awareness and collect money and donations for the conservation of rainforests. So I'll kind of sit down with that student and sort of talk them through their plan, ask them, why are they passionate about this idea? How can I support them? What resources they might need? How do they plan to market? All this kind of stuff. Now, the third point about me is, of course, like many of us here on the call, I'm a Bitcoiner, someone who is deeply passionate, excited about what Bitcoin can bring to the future. So I really wanted to see how sort of these different paths of my career and my life can kind of come together. So I began kind of thinking like, why not help the students at my school accept Bitcoin for some of these projects? Why not allow these students to accept Bitcoin for the wristbands? So if they create a real product of value for their community, that they can now accept Bitcoin payments from all over the world. So I began thinking like, how am I going to do this? What is going to be my mission as an educator and as a Bitcoiner? And I kept coming back to this simple phrase, was to educate the next generation of Bitcoiners. I think all of us here believe in Bitcoin, and it's not really a matter of if, but when. And we're all really passionate about making sure that our communities and our families are all ready and prepared for when this change is going to happen to our world. So what we did is we created the Bitcoin Club. So like many of us, it started off with Bitcoin education, doing Bitcoin workshops, asking, hey, what is money? What is credit? What is fiat? Where does that come from? What is barter? What is the gold standard? Commodities, all these kinds of things. So we partnered with some of the guys over at Looking Glass Education. If you don't know them, they're pretty awesome as well. There's Seb and Daz and Dahlia as well, doing some great curriculum development. But of course, these are kids, they're teenagers, and they don't necessarily want to hear me talk about boring things about money all the time. They want to do things. So one of the projects that we had was we built our own school node up on a Raspberry Pi, which is running on Umbro right now. And then part of that project, we also are running a BTC Pay server. So on our CAS website right now, we have student projects that are up there, and they're accepting Bitcoin and Lightning donations, or anybody who wants to support some of their work. I'm also really fortunate to be at a good school where I've got a community and principals who support the work that I'm doing with Bitcoin. I was very fortunate to attend the Oslo Freedom Forum just a few months ago. And again, those who don't know, it's a human rights conference put on by the HRF. Not a Bitcoin conference per se, but because of the properties of Bitcoin, it attracts just a massive Bitcoin community. And I was very fortunate to meet the folks like Alex Gladstein, Jeff Booth, a couple of the people who are on the board of this grant here, people like Anita and Abubakar. And I just came back from that conference being really passionate and excited, thinking like, I have to do more in order to push this forward. So I came back and decided that I wanted to apply for this Geyser grant for these 5 initiatives that I hope to be launching this school year. Number 1 here is My Premier Bitcoin. When I was doing these Bitcoin workshops, I'm a teacher. I needed some sort of a lesson plan or structure or curriculum, and I didn't want to just do these one-off things anymore. So these guys have such awesome resources. We want to be the Hong Kong node for the Me Premier Bitcoin team. So the plan is to offer the diploma program to our students at our school this year. CAS experiences. I mentioned the bracelet example. And that's really just the tip of the iceberg. We really believe in proof of work. So we don't want to, ask for money and beg for donations, but we want to put our students to work and show the community that what we're doing. we have so many different projects of kids doing, it could be working with stray animals, there could be, like I said, environmental projects, there's sports and fitness, all these types of things. And we want to have Bitcoin as a major key component of all different types of student projects. Next, we have remittances. So those who don't know, in Hong Kong, there's a large community of domestic helpers. Domestic helpers are people that come from neighboring countries, such as the Philippines or Indonesia, and they come to Hong Kong to provide typically service work for families here. That can include things like childcare, cooking, cleaning. They often make the biggest sacrifice that I think anybody could agree with, is they leave their own families to care for another family, often coming to Hong Kong for lower wages, harsh working conditions. And one of the things that sort of really got me into Bitcoin was when I see sort of these people, and on their one day off, on their weekend on Sundays, they line up at places like Western Union to send money back home to their families. And that just honestly broke my heart. And knowing that there's a better solution, it's something that I knew I needed to get on a platform and educate other people. So we're working with the guys over at Pouch. They're a Bitcoin Filipino company. Ethan is their CEO. He's awesome, really helpful. And what we do is we have a Jeje Day at our school, which stands for older sister. So this is a day where we support all the domestic helpers who work with our families. There's music, games, prizes, all these kinds of things. And we want to have Pouch there with us to help onboard all the domestic helpers into our school. And we really want to show them the power of taking Bitcoin from Hong Kong and literally moving it to the Philippines in a matter of seconds, and it will land in their bank account as Filipino pesos instantly. Number 4, so we have a STEM program at our school. So STEM stands for it says science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So I'm a PE teacher. Like, I typically don't know too much about all that kind of stuff, but I have proposed 2 different programs that I want to run for our school. The first one being a LM Bits program where students are creating Bitcoin candy machines. Again, sometimes I have to realize I'm working with teenagers, 15, 16, 17-year-old kids. They like to do things, they like to build things. And when we can build these kind of projects, they can see that Bitcoin just works for them. It's not this scary, crazy, dangerous thing. It's just like another form of currency that enables them to build a project and have fun with it and see that it works. The other project would be a Geyser Lightning ATM, which they also have a Geyser page up on right now. So another cool DIY thing that I want to bring to our school to teach students about Bitcoin. And the last initiative that I have planned for this year are staff workshops. This one's really, really important to me because it feeds into the long-term goal that I have of building a micro circular economy at our school. So the idea is if all these students are accepting Bitcoin for their projects, they need to be actually experienced accepting it, right? I want to onboard staff. I want to get them set up with Lightning wallets, send them their first sats, and then the staff can then support student projects at our school. They're able to experience what it is to send and receive transactions. And who knows, maybe a student project is so successful that kids often have to realize, okay, now what do I do with it? How do I take full self-custody of the Bitcoin that I've earned? So in order for the Bitcoin to become a focal point of our school, we need to have our staff members paying for it, using it, and interacting with it within our school community. So those are the 5 initiatives that I plan to work with. Again, big thank you to everyone who's on the call on your work. And I really appreciate the opportunity to speak here today. Thank you.
Awesome. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Jeremy. Super interesting to see what you're up to there. And cool that you're in an IB course. I did take IB back in the day, so can relate with the pain of going through that.
Yeah.
Cool. Any questions, Andrew, from your end?
This is really interesting and unique. It's cool to see. I was like joking to myself, you're building like I'm not a good a Spanish speaker, but me segunda Bitcoin, like a second, like the next stage for me Premier Bitcoin, like this college package of, I don't know, it just seems very cool, and I could see what you're doing extending to other schools if you can package it in such a way that is sort of open source and other people can like replicate what you're doing. I might have missed it, but my question is, yeah, like how many people are working with you on this versus that you're trying to, do you have like a team that's like already kind of orange pilled, or are you just like by yourself, like, one by one orange pilling people? What does that look like?
Yeah, I'm literally a one-man show, which is it's tough at times. It's a complete passion project, so I'm working on it weekends, evenings, doing whatever I can. The first time I offered it, I got maybe one staff member to show up. I've done workshops for a couple hours with 2 or 3 kids, and honestly, like, I know it's not much, but hopefully it just builds into something. And again, I've kind of found like the kids are interested, but as some like they have so much going on that it's tough to sort of pique their interest. So instead of trying to force Bitcoin down their throat, I've sort of now trying to take that approach where, okay, how can Bitcoin support the work that you're already doing, things that you're passionate about, whether it's rainforest conservation, animals, anything, right? So then they can see, again, Bitcoin as just a tool. It's just money that can be used for anything.
Very cool.
Awesome. What does the environmental science teacher say about Bitcoin? Heated debates yet?
Yeah, we've had a few. We've talked about energy. I've got some of the economic teachers involved as well. Everyone, like, they're super interested. Again, it's just like sort of directing people down to that Bitcoin, not crypto, sort of pathway. But the energy thing is like a really super fun conversation to get into, because we often don't think like, where does energy come from? How do we transport energy? How does Bitcoin all of a sudden come from this environmentally unfriendly thing to now the most environmentally friendly possibly thing that we've ever seen invented? So it's really cool, really exciting. But yeah, just working on more education within the whole school.
Awesome, man. Yeah, good work, and congrats. It's must not be an easy battle, especially with just teachers that are often set in their ways and may have some preconceptions about Bitcoin when they see it at first glance. Cool. Well, good work. Cool. I think we've got to move on to the next one. We've got a Nigeria Beef Initiative and Bitcoin Innovation Hub, I think. So if one of you wants to take it, we'd love to hear.
I'm available. I'm available.
Great. Awesome. Barry, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm Adene Comfortai by name. I'm the founder of the Nigerian Beef Initiative, which is mostly elaborated in, most importantly, United States, Florida. But presently, I'm the founder of the Nigerian Beef Initiative. So we've been we've been working on feeding our mission according to our plans is to improve the health and security of our local communities through the expansion of market access to quality animals protein by building
I'm
decentralized
sorry.
network
Is
of
it? I don't know if it's just me, but I'm kind of struggling to I hear a lot of muffled. I don't know if it's possible for you to speak a little more clearly.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you saying, but it's a little. I don't know if it's just the quality of the audio.
I
But
think
yeah,
it's the quality
try
of
your
the
best.
audio.
Try your
Okay,
best. Yeah.
good. I said, with the Nigerian Beef Initiative, our mission is to improve the health and security of our local communities through the expansion of market access to quality animals protein by building this centralized network of values aligned ranchers, processors, distributors, butchers, grazers, restaurants, and consumers, and providing access to the tools necessary, including Bitcoin, to form a secure, localized food supply chains. But along the line, we discovered we had a lot to offer the community through Bitcoin, and we've been, thanks to Geyser and our last project, we are able to raise funds for 400 Nigerian orphans by feeding the orphanage in Nigeria. So, fine, we're trying to see how through Bitcoin and bringing in education to the orphan, orphans, we decide to bring an education to them to make a sovereign decision for themselves by because the government has already neglected them and they've not been making a good decision to their lifestyle. So we think bringing education to these orphans, which are more than 400, will be more useful in the nearest future, and it will be more values that to tell them Bitcoin has done a long thing and a long way in their life. So now we are already thinking, how do we make education to the orphans who has nothing and who has not been able to make a sovereign decision? We're trying to see, we're trying to make a kind of project that we will be able to feed the orphans and also educate them by providing teachers to the orphans and making sure we pay the teachers most importantly over 2 years budget of their salaries and providing written materials and other necessary things the orphans will need. So in the beef initiative, in the Nigerian beef initiative, we managed to do feed these orphans every month, and we're trying to create a big foundation which is called an Alal Beef Initiative. Alal Beef Initiative comprises of bringing in the rancher, the teachers, and the farmers, and the and the orphans together to give them true lifestyle. That's supporting them with malnutrition and education. So I think this is one of the perfect things we need for the orphans who are abandoned in the street. But we now think, how are we going to raise funds for these kids? Because the Nigerian Beef Initiative, we started with zero funds. Then we are trying to emerge a big initiative right now because we were invited to different kind of conference in the United States, but we are able to prove ourselves and make this happen by by using ourselves and the proof of work we've been working on to make the people see what we've been doing. So we already think to make this happen and to make education to the orphans of over 400 orphans to make a sovereign decision in their life is by providing them the education materials, the feeding, and providing them teachers who will be able to teach them for over 2 years course and will make them know much about Bitcoin, a sovereign decision, and make them have a knowledge of what education is. There's a short story Nigerian business is trying to work on. That's why I think this project will do a lot of beneficials to the Nigerian business initiative orphans. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you so much. I mean, first things first, right? Full belly, and then you can move forward to educating, but like primary needs first, I guess, is what your project is mainly about, which is great. Um, Andrew, any questions or thoughts?
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Really, I'm looking at your Twitter a little bit, and the Geyser page is really it's really powerful. I'm very big fan of Texas Slim and the Beef Initiative and shaking your rancher's hand and the idea of proper farming, proper food. My question would be, I missed this if you mentioned, you said something about the Florida Beef Initiative. Are you guys raising cattle or animals locally, or are you partnered with somebody in Florida? Could you explain the connection to Florida and like the other organizations?
Thank you very much. We see the main beef initiative, which was started in the United States in Texas, but which was directed and controlled by Texas Lean. We managed to have a good relationship with Satoshi Jana joined together, and this kind of relationship has made us build a lot of love and between the two ranchers, and they'll feel like because here in Nigeria, I'm a butcher. We focus on a locally. We raise a locally sourced beef, whereas the locally sourced beef. And this locally sourced beef has been something beneficial because we're trying to avoid the mRNA injection given to the cattle and how people are not knowing what they need to eat and what they need to feed on. So we think instead of doing first thing first, our main goal is to feed the orphans, protect the orphans, give them a good malnutrition. So the Florida Beef Initiative is a big conference coming on by February next year. So they want the Nigerian Beef Initiative to come down there to learn more about how to work and locally source beef, because this is what we want to bring something Bitcoin and beef. We want to build this together. That has been our target and goal. But along the line, we discovered we can save many Nigerians, which are orphans, by feeding them and educating them at the same time through Bitcoin. So this would be a lot of proof of work for the whole company. And thanks to Gazer Fund, we literally got that done. Our first project goes smoothly and nicely. Our project has been to be able to feed 400 orphans, but due to the funds we raised from Gazer Fund is over the budget we need. So we are able to feed over 500 orphans in Nigeria.
Amazing.
Awesome. Thank you.
Amazing. Yep. Yeah. My final thought would just I think your project has actually been deactivated, and maybe because after 6 months of no donations on Geyser, your project kind of automatically goes on pause mode. So if you want to reactivate it, just you can do that in the settings. Just wanted to give you just to let you know about that.
Yeah. I'm going to reactivate that because I'm trying to bring in some what is that will make people, there's some proof of work that will make people realize the kind of understand the kind of projects we've been working on through Gator
Yeah.
Fund.
Yeah, you have some great material there. If you wanna, I think if you have an entry or so to kind of show that proof of work, that would really help. I think. Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool. Well, thank you again so much. Without further ado, we have the last project, Bitcoin Innovation Hub, Barry. If you want us, you're thinking the last one. So if you want to just go ahead and tell us a bit about your project and what your plans are, that'll be great.
Hello, good evening, good afternoon. My name is Barry Ainamgisha from Uganda. I would like to confirm if my audio is very clear.
It's very clear. Yeah, it's great. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'll be pulling up the presentation.
Great.
So I'll be sharing the screen. Just a second, please.
All good. Any exciting weekend plans meanwhile?
Okay, is that up?
There we go. Okay, we got it.
Okay, so I'm representing Bitcoin Innovation Hub from Uganda. A Bitcoin Innovation Hub is a startup organization in Uganda that works towards creating an inclusive ecosystem that relies on Bitcoin technology to drive positive social and economic empowerment of underprivileged communities. We have been up and running for the last 3 months, and our offices are located in the heart of the city in Kampala. The founder and the CEO of this entity is Ms. Meron Estefanos, and I serve at the head of operations of the Innovation Hub. So our vision is to create the leading catalyst for positive socioeconomic change by fostering widespread Bitcoin adoption, innovation, and education. And our mission is around creating transformative potential of Bitcoin in different communities. But briefly, we are targeting the underprivileged communities and societies in the country because, one, Uganda is one of the largest communities hosting the refugees in Africa. Actually, Uganda is the leading host of refugee communities in Africa. So these people are our main target amongst other underprivileged persons and communities in the country. We are trying to create social and economic impact through Bitcoin. And as you can see from the services we offer, there is Bitcoin education to create inclusivity in financial systems and transactions, one of the challenges that the refugee communities face is the lack of identification documents. So they're usually left out from the banking system and the traditional finance. They face very high remittance costs and charges. So we're bringing Bitcoin to them to include them into the financial system and to be able to provide a cheaper option for them to do their remittance, because that is what they mostly survive on. We're also equipping all these communities with financial literacy skills to facilitate their stay in the country before they relocate or as they establish for their long-term stay in the country. The other service that we are committed to is the research and collaboration. We are set to find out how many people really understand Bitcoin in Uganda, what are the use cases of Bitcoin in Uganda, what is the regulatory environment, how do we use Bitcoin to solve different problems faced by different communities in the country, and everything around that economy, and how can we contribute to social and economic empowerment of the underprivileged societies in the country. The hub also offers shared working space with Bitcoin startups and Bit devs who are working on different projects in the Bitcoin space. We have an office set out for them, and other resources are free. There is Wi-Fi, there is every other resource that they may need for their working as they start out. Then we also do skilling for different people that sign up for the different courses, the fashion design, art and craft. We also have music, dance and drama, and the physical fitness program. All these are fully fledged courses. All the participants in these courses are awarded certificates at the end of their program to showcase that they are qualified and they're ready to start their lives elsewhere and do something for themselves as they work towards economic empowerment. All these courses are free of charge, thanks to the partners that we've been working with for the last few months that have facilitated these programs to be up and running. So far, we have a couple of students that are coming in on a daily to take up these courses. We also have a program that is committed towards feeding a child. There are very many underprivileged children in societies in Uganda, the street kids, orphans, the refugee children, and they struggle to have a meal a day. So what Bitcoin Innovation Hub is doing is bring them together at the hub, teaching them Bitcoin, engaging them in other programs. We have a kickboxing program for these children because most of them are school dropouts or they are struggling to maintain active schooling. So we are offering them an alternative that will equip them with a talent or a skill in sport that could change their lives. But as that all is going on, we also offer them a meal a day, at least a nutritious meal that is going to nourish them and keep them in good shape as they go through the Bitcoin education, that they get to learn about financial literacy, get to understand how to engage in fashion, art and design, and other skills that the hub provides. So our impact has been ranging from different things like equipping these refugees and other communities, that single mothers and other people in the communities with fashion and design skills, the art and craft skills, financial literacy. Then we have our free walk-in session for free Bitcoin education to the communities. This is available to the informal sector, to the formal sector. We also do workshops and seminars that are arranged with different entities and stakeholders like the government. We do community outreaches to different institutions like universities and secondary schools. And this is the feeder child and boxing class that I illustrated later on. And then the shared working space that I equally highlighted on. Now, amongst our future plans as the Bitcoin Innovation Hub, we are working on a research project on Bitcoin adoption and use in Uganda, and also how the different communities can leverage Bitcoin technology for their social and economic empowerment, but also for the financial inclusion in the financial system, especially the underprivileged who do not have the privilege of having identity and proper identification documents that can afford them a bank account, but also offering them a cheaper remittance option of Bitcoin as they receive money from different countries and organizations. So their survival is solely on remittance, and they deserve a cheaper option because every dollar matters and counts for them. We also intend to set up a research center that is going to carry out different studies in the country. And we also have a nationwide Bitcoin awareness campaign in different institutions of learning, where we shall be establishing the Bitcoin innovation clubs in all secondary schools in the country. We believe that this is the best way to introduce everyone, especially the young people who are the majority in this country. They form 80% of the country's population, are under 30. So the best way to bring the attention to Bitcoin is bringing this to them while they are in school through the Bitcoin innovation clubs. We introduce the basics of Bitcoin economies, the financial inclusivity, and all the other advantages of using Bitcoin as a payment system and also as an asset for their future good. And this is part of the proof of work. This is a financial literacy class with some of the attendees at the Innovation Hub offices in Kampala. And this is our Bitcoin education head engaging in a Bitcoin education session with the Eritrean refugee community in one of the suburbs in Kampala, Uganda. It was a very interesting and very well attended session, and the refugee communities have since picked up much interest. They have signed up in big numbers to have the full course details and see how they can leverage Bitcoin. And this is a skilling session still being conducted at our offices. And the participants are undertaking fashion and design skills, as you can see. We have a whole room designated for fashion design and skilling with different materials and equipment installed. This is also a Bitcoin education class being conducted at our offices still. And this is the Bitcoin education class is usually held twice a week on Monday and Wednesday to give the other participants in these sessions chance to engage in other activities like skilling. But Bitcoin education is compulsory for every person who would like to engage in any other kind of program at the Innovation Hub. It is the prerequisite everyone must have. So even when you are interested in tailoring, interested in fashion design and art and craft and the kickboxing and everything else, the prerequisite is that you must undertake the Bitcoin classes, because that is the principal goal. Even when you find out you are equipped with other skills, you must possess the basic understanding of Bitcoin and to see how you can leverage that technology that is revolutionary. So basically, and to sum it up, that is what the Bitcoin Innovation Hub is up to in Uganda. We are entering our 4th month of operation, and so far we've achieved tremendous success. We have engaged with government individuals, and they are keen to collaborating with us and see how we can extend this program to different institutions. We are also receiving different calls for people to engage in our programs. And next week, not next week, early September on 2nd, we're going to have our official grand opening ceremony at the Bitcoin Innovation Hub offices. It would have been great to host you all. You are welcome. If you can make it, we'll be glad to have you. Briefly, that is what we are up to at the Bitcoin Innovation Hub. Thank you. I'm open to take any questions.
Really interesting. I wasn't aware how much you have been scaling and have been working on. It's awesome to see. I think that was pretty self-explanatory. I would just again maybe echoing a previous comment I made, just maybe show a little bit more of that, the proof of work on the project page, I would say, just so that the board members can see the work you've done, and maybe have an entry where you can have all these images and links, and also just link your to your website so that they can see that more thoroughly. But yeah, I'll leave it at that and let Andrew ask any last questions.
Thank you. I did have one question around the utility that people are finding as they learn about Bitcoin. I think one thing that you mentioned is banking the unbanked, for lack of a better word. People that don't have documentation, and the Bitcoin provides, ability to be a bank account. I guess my question would be, are you seeing people who say use Bitcoin because they have some savings and they want to protect savings, or do you see people saying, "Oh, I can use Bitcoin as money," and therefore, seeing some merchant adoption and people spending satoshis for food or something like this? I would love to hear just a little bit about what you're starting to see as people are learning about Bitcoin and how they're using it.
Thank you. We are receiving both. We're receiving people who are very keen to invest. They have their savings and they think after learning about Bitcoin, they find it the most feasible investment they can make for their future and to protect their savings. But then we're also finding a group and section of the individuals who find it as the cheapest means of transacting, especially for remittances and cross-border transactions. So, and those are the majority, because the refugee communities that we've been interacting with largely, they survive on remittances from Canada, from the US and the UK. So they realize that they can actually save up to $20 to $30 in remittance that has been the charge with a traditional finance like MasterCard and Western Union. So they're seeing that they can save more money with their remittances.
Very interesting. Well, nice work to you and everybody else who's been presenting today and in previous presentations. Blown away by the decentralized education that's happening in all corners of the world. So thank you.
Thank you very much too for your time.
Indeed, yeah. It's amazing to see how much is actually happening and seeing the reality in all these different local contexts. It's been great to have you guys here. I think we have one last call next week with the I think we're just calling it the final call. So everyone who has missed it is able to get to it. Actually, Jeremy, I realize you're also in there, so you don't have to come to that one. Maybe I'll remove you from it. But we've got a few other calls, so yeah, it's gonna be the last chance for anyone who's applied to the grant to kind of come in and tell us about their work. So that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you all so much. It's been a pleasure to meet you guys, and keep up the good work. Andrew, last words.
Thank you. I think thanks Geyser. You really have I'll use like maybe mixed metaphors here, but kicked the hornet's nest in a good way. With Geyser really bringing all these projects to the forefront. It's super cool. So yeah, appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. And part of it is just the monetary. It's like we're giving out great, allowing you to kickstart something, and at the same time, it's like these new projects just want to have a good reason to get started and also get their voice out there and get kind of recognized by the community. So those two things together are very powerful.
100%.
And thank you so much. Have a good weekend, guys.
Bye all.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.